Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into something truly massive. We are tracing the single most epic, sweeping narrative ever recorded, the complete history of humanity. We're going to map out our entire trajectory, right from our primal beginnings all the way to the absolute edge of the artificial intelligence revolution we're living through right now. Let's get right into it.
Okay, let's dive into this. Every city, every invention, every smartphone began with one extraordinary journey. You know, it's so easy for us to sit here today, surrounded by comfortable homes, instant global Wi-Fi, and endless digital information, and kind of forget that, well, none of this was guaranteed. Every massive empire that ever rose, every piece of tech in your pocket, every sprawling metropolis on Earth, they all share the exact same origin point. What we're really looking at is a story of sheer stubborn willpower. It's us shifting from a super fragile existence out in the wild to literally mastering the very fabric of our reality.
Here is the overarching roadmap for our journey. And I want you to notice that massive gap on the left side. For roughly 96% of human history, we existed solely in that first stage. Then boom, 12,000 years ago, agriculture hits. And from there, the timeline violently compresses. We jump from the industrial shift to the AI revolution in the absolute blink of a cosmic eye. The pacing of human advancement isn't some steady, predictable climb. It's a rocket launch. So let's start at that very first incredible milestone on the far left.
300,000. That is the number of years ago that modern humans, Homo sapiens, first appeared on the African continent. Picture the reality of that era for a second. There were no cities, no farms, and literally zero technology as we know it today. Every single day was a relentless, brutal fight just to survive. You had to hunt with stone spears and forage just to get a meal, constantly exposed to deadly weather elements and, actual predators.
But despite the absolute harshness of the Stone Age, our ancestors possessed this one defining trait: imagination. I mean, sure, other animals might have been stronger or faster, but humans had this unique, singular spark. It was this imagination that allowed a family huddled around the glowing embers of a fire in the dead of night to realize, hey, we can actually master this flame. It allowed them to develop complex language to share ideas. It pushed them to press pigment into cave walls to create art. And it drove them to cross freezing mountain ranges and vast oceans. Because they could imagine what lay beyond the horizon, they eventually spread across every single continent on Earth.
So, for hundreds of thousands of years, we were totally defined by prehistoric survival, a really harsh, nomadic life, just constantly on the move. But about 12,000 years ago, humanity made arguably its greatest discovery ever: the agricultural revolution. Instead of endlessly wandering and searching for food, our ancestors figured out how to actually grow it. They planted golden wheat. They domesticated sheep and oxen to pull wooden plows. And guys, this changed everything. Temporary camps turned into permanent villages with mud brick houses. And because they finally had a reliable food source, human populations absolutely exploded.
Section 2. The Dawn of Civilization. A rapid expansion of knowledge.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer, staggering volume of achievement that happened once human beings didn't have to spend every waking second hunting for food. All across the globe, these great civilizations just started rising up concurrently. Over in Mesopotamia, they invent writing, which meant knowledge could finally be passed down. In Egypt, they're engineering massive, towering pyramids. Greece sparks the flames of philosophy, teaching us how to think. Rome builds out vast networks of stone streets in these powerful empires. Meanwhile, ancient China is busy revolutionizing technology with inventions like paper, silk, and eventually gunpowder. And ancient India completely transformed our understanding of the universe through advanced math and astronomy. Humanity was suddenly learning and innovating way faster than at any previous point in history.
And the crazy part is, they didn't just keep these discoveries to themselves. Humanity became deeply connected. Sure, kingdoms rose and empires inevitably fell, but the knowledge survived. It spread across continents like wildfire. Just imagine the vast trade routes, Viking ships crossing stormy, unforgiving seas, medieval knights riding across green hills, Islamic scholars translating and advancing the world's knowledge of astronomy inside these magnificent libraries. Through relentless trade, daring exploration, and just sheer curiosity, these isolated pockets of human brilliance began to merge into a truly global web of shared understanding.
Section 3. The acceleration of progress. The industrial shift.
If you thought the jump from caves to castles was fast, hold on tight. Just 250 years ago, which by the way is incredibly recent in our 300,000-year timeline, like basically yesterday, machines transformed civilization forever. The roar of the steam engine powered massive new factories. Giant locomotives raced across the countryside, connecting nations with bands of iron. Electric lights pushed back the darkness, illuminating city streets at night. The physical limitations of human and animal muscle were suddenly completely obsolete. Human progress accelerated like never before, laying the iron and electric groundwork for the modern world.
That massive industrial momentum catapulted us into the modern age with dizzying speed. Airplanes conquered the skies. Computers shrank from room-sized calculators to glowing rectangles we keep in our pockets. The internet connected billions of people instantly. And in literally the ultimate flex of human imagination, we actually left the Earth and stepped onto the moon. In just a handful of decades, technology exponentially reshaped the everyday life of every single person on the planet.
So the crucial point is Section 4, the AI revolution, our unwritten next chapter. The tools we are building today represent a shift just as fundamental as the discovery of fire. Humanity now stands at the absolute beginning of another revolution. I mean, think about it. We are building futuristic smart cities with autonomous transportation, we have robots assisting in complex surgeries, and we're launching reusable rockets with our sights set on Mars, all while vast arrays of wind and solar farms stretch across the landscape to power the whole shebang. We are right at the precipice of a completely new era of human capability, where the limits of what we can achieve are being redrawn every single day. And this brilliantly illustrates the epic, compounding nature of our journey when you step back and look at it. We tamed fire in the wilderness. We mastered farming to build permanent homes. We stacked stones into global empires. We broke gravity to touch space. And now, we are creating machines that can think right alongside us. Every single step builds directly on the courage and the struggles of the step right before it.
When you look at the entirety of this history, from prehistoric caves all the way to a digital civilization, the through line is crystal clear. Human history has always been a story of curiosity, courage, and innovation. The exact same spark of imagination that lit a torch in a dark cave is the one powering our leap to the stars today. It is all the same incredible story.
But here's the thing. The next chapter, it hasn't been written yet. The story of humanity is ongoing, and you and I are active participants in it right now. With all of these incredible tools, the shared knowledge, and this massive historical momentum at our backs, what will we create next? What is the next impossible thing that human imagination will make a reality? Keep that question in your mind as you look at the world around you today. Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible journey through the history of us. I'll catch you in the next Explainer.